The thoughts, opinions, and general overall shades thrown on High at 9 News are those of the individual speakers and not those of High at 9 News, its audience, or its advertisers. The statements made do not constitute medical, legal, or financial advice, and for advice tailored to your specific situation, please consult with a licensed professional. Welcome to the High at 9 News Hour, where you will hear from cannabis industry experts and professionals from around the country talk about important topics while shining light on global issues and discussing cannabis as it relates to politics, regulation and reform, data and technology, science, research and medicine, family and parenting, art, celebrities and entertainment, fitness, sports, mental health and wellness, and plant-based medicines and entheogenics. Together, we are building a stronger community, fighting the stigma and creating change. With your hosts, Jason Beck and Rico Lamitte, joined by special industry expert correspondents from around the country, and daily antics brought to you by Cannabis. Coming to you live every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time and high noon on the East Coast. And thank you all for getting high at 9 with us.
I know.
Oh, yeah. Good morning, everybody. That's right. It is Thursday, November 23rd, and today is Wolfenoot Day, whatever the hell that is. Wolfenoot. Wolfenoot. I have no clue what that is, but it's that day's today, whatever the hell that is.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah. Fibonacci Day. Sounds like some new,
Fibonacci.
some new sushi maybe or something. I don't know. It's also National Espresso Day. And why this is today, I'm so confused, but obviously the vegans have a pretty big lobbying budget because it's also turkey-free Thanksgiving, National Day of Mourning.
Mourning.
Yes.
Native Americans.
Yep. That's right. That is correct. And that's right. It is Thanksgiving, you guys. It is Thanksgiving Day. Thankful for all of you tuning in, and thank you all for being with us today. And thank you for joining us and getting high at 9 with us. It's also high noon on the East Coast. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe to us on all social media platforms. Use that QR code somewhere on the screen to find out where we live on the internet. And we are live every Monday through Friday on YouTube. And now we are also streaming to Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and Rumble. So welcome to anyone joining us from any one of those audience. Happy Thanksgiving. And we are going to kick this off with the dope dad himself. That's right. It's Rico Lamitte with a special Thanksgiving tale today. You have a special Thanksgiving tale, Rico?
I do have a special Thanksgiving tale.
Yes.
A cautionary one.
A cautionary one because it is
As
the
well.
dope dad himself. It is Rico Lamitte.
Good morning and happy Thanksgiving, everybody. As Jason said, I do have a cautionary tale and an update on the Lorna McMurray saga that we've been covering since last year, which was mysteriously scrubbed from Leafly. They did a deep dive into what exactly happened at the True Leaf plant. But the family is now suing a year later to gain some kind of closure on their daughter's death. So Lorna McMurray died 27 years young in January 2022 after suffering an asthma attack from working in a True Leaf Holyoke production plant. McMurray's death was mysteriously kept quiet for nearly a year before the story leaked out past local rags to make national news as possibly the industry's first official death due to cannabis. True Leaf escaped the ordeal with less than a slap on the wrist from OSHA, paid a reduced fine, promised to police themselves, and ended up all out leaving the state high and dry, taking his talents elsewhere, back down south, presumably places where there'd be less regulation, red tape preventing them from being as great at capitalism as they know that they can be. But nearly a year after McMurray's death became an industry flashpoint, her family is seeking retribution and suing True Leaf in hopes of gaining some sort of closure and bringing a bit of peace back in the wake of every parent's worst nightmare, losing a kid before they actually pass themselves. We're bringing the complaint to seek accountability on behalf of Lorna's family, lead attorney Jeremy Carroll said by phone Tuesday. This is an incident that should never have happened.
We need the watch stream.
Carroll said the family is seeking a trial by jury and has not specified a figure for monetary compensation. We hope it will protect other workers in the industry, he said. According to GazetteNet, in an agreement announced at the end of last year, OSHA fined Trulieve $14,500, concluded the company was not directly responsible for McMurray's death. Increased scale manufacturing in our industry is a relatively new endeavor, and we are determined to continually ask questions and seek answers to make our workplace the safest and healthiest it can possibly be, Trulieve CEO Kim Rivers said in a statement in response to the OSHA's findings. As part of the agreement, Trulieve was required to conduct a study to determine whether ground cannabis dust, Keith, is to be classified as a hazardous chemical while in an occupational setting. The status of that study, supposed to be completed by the end of May 2023, is unclear. On September 20th, following its own investigation, the Massachusetts Cannabis Control Commission notified Trulieve that it intended to fine the company $502,500 for alleged safety and other violations, according to an editorial in the Boston Globe. Trulieve can appeal. One of the nation's largest companies with $1.2 billion in revenue in 2022, Florida-based Trulieve pulled out of Massachusetts earlier this year, closing dispensaries in Northampton, Framingham, and Worcester, along with its Holyoke production plant. Rivers told shareholders the move stemmed from Trulieve's focus on its business strategy of going deep in our core markets and jettisoning non-contributive assets. The company now operates 190 retail dispensaries and over 4 million square feet of cultivation and processing capacity in the U.S., according to its last quarter report. Now let's go to Plymouth. Plymouth, Massachusetts is about a 2.5-hour drive from Holyoke and birthplace of Thanksgiving as we know it, and have been taught through revisionist American history classes as far back as many can recall. Some version of the lie of friendly Indians coming to help settlers arriving on the Mayflower has been circulating for hundreds of years. In reality, what we know now as Massachusetts was land inhabited by the Mashpee Wampanoag tribe. They lived on the land presently known as Massachusetts and Rhode Island for more than 12,000 years before a chance encounter with pilgrims led to their demise. There was no invitation to invite the natives to come feast with them. According to indigenous activist and New England historical scholar Paula Peters, the pilgrims were actually celebrating their first harvest given to them by the natives. And they fired off muskets repeatedly, a form of entertainment for the settlers. Hearing the blast, the Wampanoag thought it was a threat. The supreme leader, Massasoit Assamoah, assembled a small army of approximately 90 warriors and approached the settlement, much to the surprise of the pilgrims. After de-escalating the situation, the pilgrims and the Wampanoag feasted together, though historical tests don't indicate what they might have eaten besides deer hunted by the Wampanoag, as Peters writes in an introduction to Of Plymouth Plantation. The contemporary holiday perpetuates the myths of the Wampanoag and the pilgrim relations. It further buries the truths of kidnappings, pestilence, and subjugation, and ignores the scant details of the tense encounter, while it conjures up hallmark images of happy natives and pilgrims feasting on a cornucopia of corn, pies, and meats, including a fully dressed roast turkey. That shit never happened. As we gather today to feast with friends and family, it truly is a blessing to be in a place to give thanks for each other and all we've been through with those that matter. But it's also important to never forget what really happened. Lots of parallels in the colonist remixed version of Thanksgiving and what seems to be going on in real time with Trulieve and McMurray family. Let's hope that McMurray family does find peace and gets whatever they're looking to get out of this courtroom case going forward. But it is important that we all remember, as much as it might be scrubbed in real time, what it really happened. I'm Rico Lamitte, dopest out on the street. Open it up to everybody else.
Man, oh man, I can't believe that this is going down like that. I mean, excuse me. I can believe this is going down like that. And I wish the best for the family in regards with this lawsuit, because I think we all can pretty much agree that that Trulieve definitely did not operate as a well-intending employer in regards to this unfortunate tragedy.
Well,
Right.
my question is,
I was more upset.
why isn't this a work comp claim? I mean that's. I mean, I'm gonna do a work comp case this morning too. But if you are injured at work, most states have a closed loop system for work comp, and you've got to go look for ways to get out of that system. And in a wrongful death situation, they pay death benefits. My question is, what are the avenues they're trying to use to get out of the work comp system to go sue Cureleaf individually? I mean, family, and I mean, this is in a legal sense, parents weren't hurt by the death. I mean, they were hurt emotionally. You lose your kid, but the kid's the one that's dead. Who has the right to sue, and how do you get a work comp? I've done this before. I represented a team physician for a profession for the NFL, and one of the players sued him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you what, they shit when we drug him in and made him go to work comp. Um, so it's just, I'd like to see the complaint and see how they got away out of that system to go try and sue and get anything out of the employer when it was the employee who was injured. And anyway, that's my thought on that case.
Yeah, I think they have a more in-depth version of what's fully going on in the lawsuit in Law 360 and the developing story. I'm happy to hear that the family is actually speaking out now because I don't want to insinuate anything that's not or allege anything that's not going on, but they were very mysteriously quiet um, throughout the whole proceedings of this
Mm-hmm.
case, and I was a lot more upset about this when truly it was just like they just pieced out.
Yeah, they
They
did.
they worked to get that. I think it was originally they were going to be fined 30,000 by OSHA, and they got that reduced to like under $10,000. They're like,
Yeah.
okay, we're just out this shit.
Yeah.
Like as soon as the Massachusetts Cannabis Control said that they were going to fine them like a $500,000, they're like, oh, we're out. Fuck y'all.
Mm-hmm.
They took their ball and went home.
I mean, Dale, with OSHA coming out with that, I mean, is there still a workers' comp claim to file, or is this the better route to go, actually suing the company?
Well, see that's my question. I'm not familiar with all of their statutes. This is in Massachusetts, right? Is that where?
Yes. Yep. Massachusetts.
Okay,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
I can tell you in California, if you're injured on the job, even killed, okay, that goes into the work comp system, and there are schedules of money they pay for that. And my question would be, how do you get out of that system? Because the person that died um, had the right to sue, or
Mm-hmm.
and how is that something you inherit? Do your heirs and assigns have the right to go take this case up outside the work comp system? That's where it begins to get a little troubling for me. And we typically get an employer's policy that covers work comp, and any other way an employee could sue an employer, and there may be some insurance coverage for that, but I'd like to see the cause of action. And reading these complaints is boring as hell, but it gives you some insight into what what statutes they're using to get outside the work comp system to sue.
Mm-hmm.
OSHA will go in and close them down. They'll require they put in better HIPAA systems and modify HVAC. If this really is a contaminant that caused this death, they will come in and they will impose more de facto restrictions on you. Come in and make your HVAC systems cleaner.
Why haven't
Keep
they
this
done?
out of the air.
Why haven't they done that already? I mean,
Yeah,
when they did when they did with lowering the fine instead of increasing the fine, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Well,
Dude,
a lot of
because
this doesn't make sense,
money.
and
Yeah, because
that's the
money. They
problem.
so yeah, True Leaf came in there. So the crazy part, I covered this when we first covered the story. Um, True Leaf came in there and they revitalized a dying city,
Mm-hmm.
right? Holyoke, believe it or not, like nobody's really heard of Holyoke. You heard of Boston, you might have heard of Plymouth, but Holyoke has more licenses in this small dying industrial town, have more licenses than anywhere else in the state of Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
So cannabis came and revitalized the entire city. and they allowed them. Is I think in the cannabis plants, they're the only ones that weren't unionized. They allowed them to do what the hell they wanted to do. A lot of stuff was just overlooked as far as workplace safety. And it was like an 80,000+ square foot facility, and they were just packing pre rolls, Keith everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And Lorna was complaining of chest pains. She's never had any history of asthma, and they didn't even have N95 masks in the plant, like during and in aftermath of COVID. So she actually borrowed one of her father's, because her father works in a plant, and he had one of the industrial ones. So she was actually using his before she ended up. It was too late, so she ended up collapsing and dying right there on the floor because of money. Because the whole city, the whole town was revitalized by industrial big box cannabis. They turned the other way.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to hear and see a lot more of what actually happened behind the scenes because of this lawsuit, and hopefully others will be protected going forward.
Well, businesses that have money and political connections don't want regulations on them that cost them money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's pretty simple. You
Yeah,
ain't got to go to the Wharton School to figure that shit out. And over regulations is one of the problems that's killing the industry. So there's a balancing act in here somewhere. And I don't know if they're going to declare keef dust to be a toxic substance in the
yeah,
air. I mean, this is not the diamond waist shirt fire where they had to come up with regulations to protect people, but you still have to monitor the air quality. You
I'm,
subject people to contaminants in the air.
That would be the
And
first part of a
one
cannabis
complaint.
plant, Dale. That'd be the first part of a cannabis plant that they labeled as toxic in that case if they were to do that.
Well, I'd like to know the mechanism that she died by, because obviously you breathe stuff into your lungs, you can't get it out. You can have problems just from that. Was this an anaphylactic reaction where all of the muscles around her breathing tubes tightened up and she couldn't get any air? I mean, did they have anybody on site that knew any kind of first aid to take care of this? I've had OSHA roll into employers I represented, and they'll close your ass down in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so why didn't that happen? Is that something they do in Massachusetts? Because if somebody dies, you can bet. I mean, I used to get called. You get your ass down here and you hold everybody's hand as OSHA walks through, because this is going to get ugly.
Mm-hmm.
People aren't supposed to die at work, and I
yeah.
hope this does pull back some covers of how this works, because the industry fights to keep regulations low, but without regulations, people die. So where in that do we find a peaceful medium that a business can be successful and employees can be safe? We're still figuring that out in this industry.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where that line is, guys. This lady's dead. So this is an autopsy and going backwards forensically to figure out how in the hell this happened and what can be done to protect other employees. If you got a pre-roll room, that's all you're doing. I mean, HVAC systems can be pumped up to clean that air out.
Mm-hmm.
Give them a mask. I
Yeah.
mean, these are kind of protective devices that are used in industries, and our industry's slow to adopt stuff. It's like this is something every industry's got to deal with. If you have particulate matter in the air and you subject people to it, something should be done to test it, to take steps to protect your employees. And
Mm-hmm.
it may happen that work comp makes them do that. They won't even sell you a policy till you fix this shit now going forward. I've had that problem too. Um, it's just a tragedy, because the
Yeah.
cannabis plant is not in and of itself toxic, but for some people it can kill you, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I think also the workers need to know going into a situation. Like, yeah, it's awesome, especially in the emerging markets. It's awesome to work in the cannabis industry legally, especially for those of us who've done things behind, underground before that opportunity. But if you're going into a workplace that is not safe, it's not worth the risk. You know,
Yeah.
especially in industrial towns like Holyoke, where you know what workplace safety looks like in a plant.
Mm-hmm.
If you see stuff going on that ain't up to par, might be time for you to bounce,
It might
because it
might
could
just
cost you
be.
your life.
And
It might just be.
hope you have insurance that you left all this problem behind.
Yep.
The
Right.
cases sound like they aren't going away, and you don't do this without insurance. So let's see how that works out too.
And on that one, we're going to go to a commercial, and we're going to be right back.
How's it going, guys? Saman Razani coming to you from Green Street here with Jason Beck, smoking on the best weed in the world. Did you know that we have an audio-only version of our podcast available on Apple, Google, Amazon, iHeartRadio, and Spotify? Tune in now and check it out.
All right, y'all. Now that we got, we got the tear jerker
Mm-hmm.
out of the way. We got the tear jerker out of the way. Let's get it popping. Let's have some fun.
Now it's time to
Up
cut
next,
the
y'all
bird.
know who it is. It's the cannabis industry's. It is the cannabis industry's longest continuously operating retailer, known for smoking the best weed in the world and also supporting despots
I only support winners.
worldwide.
I only support winners.
Jason Beck, what do you have for us on this Thanksgiving morning?
Oh, yeah. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Thank you to everybody. We appreciate all of your continued support over here at High at 9 News. And I got a few interesting stories today, but we're going to start off with this one today. California regulators embargo cannabis products from 3 companies. California cannabis regulators on November 9th issued an embargo on products from 3 companies, claiming these products have been adulterated, SF Gate reported. The letter to the firms outlined by SF Gate says the products may contain poisonous or deleterious, deleterious, deleterious substances by the Department of Cannabis Control, the DCC. They declined to provide further information, however. In an email to SF Gate, David Hafner, a spokesman for the DCC, said the agency, in quotes, is currently investigating the facts and circumstances related to these products to determine the appropriate next steps, including whether a recall is necessary. The products affected by this embargo include Shark Bite Pacific Chemistry pre-rolls, West Coast Cure Biscotti disposable vape pens, and CRU Cannabis Mai Tai disposable vape pens. The DCC's letter directs all companies in possession of the products to immediately stop the sale of these products and hold on to them for further investigation. The DCC letter implies that the regulators may have information showing that the original third-party safety tests were inaccurate or that the products were adulterated after being tested. Hafner indicated that since 2021, the agency has issued 79 products embargoes. However, the DCC does not make them public unless they are subject to a mandatory recall. Well, look out for these 3 products on your shelves and make sure you're not able to purchase them. That is a pretty interesting one, and for the DCC to go this far, I find it extremely interesting, and I wonder what's really in those pens. And I also really wonder... And I wonder what you guys think about this, but I wonder if all 3 of those products were tested by the same testing lab. And this is Jason Beck for the High at 9 News on Thanksgiving morning. What do y'all have to say about this?
Wonder what it's adulterated with. That really, I'm curious about that. And did it get past testing with anything in it that they now call adulterated, or like you said, Jason, did it happen
It
afterwards?
definitely got through testing, Dale, because it's on retail shelves. Yeah, it 100% got through testing. And how did they get tipped off about these products?
Somebody get
That's a
paid.
good question.
Yeah. Maybe some disgruntled employee dropped a dime somewhere.
Well,
Who knows?
you would need 3 different disgruntled employees all dropping the dime about the same thing from 3 different companies, though, Dale.
Okay. Well, maybe it's the same lab. I mean, we're kind of guessing and speculating here. The fact that they call it adulterated means something's in it that shouldn't have been there. I don't know that it's a contaminant that comes through the roots.
I bet it's hemp. I bet it's hemp-based distillate. It's been like it's reconverted distillate. That's my guess.
It's Delta 9 every time.
Oh boy.
Mhm.
There's going to be a common thread in here somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're looking at all these divergent different interests. Somewhere in there is going to be a common thread that ties this together. Maybe they got all the distillate from the same place, and somebody there got lynched or
Oh,
got pissed off.
that's possible
sit down.
too. That is possible too, Dale.
Great. All these pins are about to show up in Texas. Damn it.
Right? You know that's
At your
exactly.
local
Coming to a gas
stop and
station
rob,
near you.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's where they're going. Maybe some of them will end up in New York too, Stone. Maybe you'll get saved a little bit, and some of them will end up in New York.
Yeah, that's that E85.
Oh, yeah.
That alternative gas.
Yes. Man, I just wish there was more news on this. I have a feeling that these guys all use the same lab, or to Dale's point, I think it's possible that they all bought distillate from the same provider and they all bought bad disty, and it just kind of tracked right along with it. But I just imagine
Shout out to SF Gate, dude.
I just imagine
Like,
that
they
how
be
the
going deep.
DCC got found out about this. I imagine that they had to have sent just like some secret shopper into a store to buy some stuff and then go and test the products, and it just so happened that all three of these products had the same contaminant in there.
Yeah, SF Gate has been going deep on these investigative journalists.
Yeah.
The stories recently.
Yeah, shout out
Shout out to
SF
them.
Gate.
Hopefully
Yeah,
that-
good
hopefully
look.
they got
Well, remember that stuff,
Schumer
vitamin E acetate, they were thickening up vape pens with? I doubt it's something like that, or there would have been a lot more thrown out there. Grab it,
I
burn
agree.
it, you know,
Yeah.
things like that.
I agree. There would have been some bigger stories in regards to like the health and safety of the general overall consumer base for sure. And I think the DCC probably even at that point they would have sent out some type of an email to like all the retailers and everyone that's on their email list that has a license, like notifying of that, like they commonly do. So that would be my guess, but who knows? Stranger things have happened.
Do you think that we will ever have another quote unquote vape crisis?
Vape?
Go.
Well, I mean,
But I hope not.
I think it depends on what you define as a vape crisis.
The vape hoax.
I mean,
that
I think
we went through?
I think it's definitely possible. I mean, the fact that there's still a lot of bootleg pens and things like that, I think it's definitely probable cause for that to manifest itself again. I don't see why it wouldn't.
Well, I would hope people had learned from the thickening agents, the vitamin E acetate period, that this is dangerous shit. People breathing stuff into their lungs. You know, just because it's okay to put on the skin doesn't mean you can thicken shit up and smoke it. So I'd hope people would learn that. And if somebody does get killed, you know, listen, maybe you need to be tracked down and prosecuted for manslaughter.
Yeah, but
Because
Dale,
that's gross negligence doing shit like that.
I agree with you, Dale. But unfortunately, I believe that there's a lot of companies that don't give a shit about any of that. They only care about selling product and don't, you know. And most of these are all trap products because they don't have to go through testing or anything. And those people really don't give a shit.
Well,
Yeah, you know,
I
I'm
agree.
looking forward. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the day where you have affordable home testing kits, so you can actually test your own weed.
Yeah, and I
Right?
think
like, just like you can test other street drugs.
yeah,
like,
but
like something that you can buy over the counter. It's not super expensive. It doesn't have to be reusable, but just something that you can actually test your shit, so you know exactly what's in it.
I feel you, but I feel like for the point of this is that since it's all vape carts, I think a lot of it too is a lot of these bootleg carts or whatnot use some extremely cheap hardware, and a lot of it is the metals and whatnot are made from recycled metals, and so you have no clue what's really in there and how long these compounds can actually sit in those types of metal containers without causing an adverse chemical reaction, and that's what I worry about more than what kind of stuff they're putting in to cut distillate with.
Right. And big shout out to Dank Vapes.
Oh
Dank
boy.
Vapes came out. Dude,
Yeah, Dank Vapes is
they
back on
came
the
out with
retail
that whole
market.
thing.
Dank Vapes is back
Dude,
on
that's
the
what I'm
retail
saying.
market. Yeah.
They are back and they're legal,
Mhm.
and they came out of that thing unscathed.
Yeah, they did.
So big shout out. to
Big
Dank
shout out
Vapes.
to Dank
They
Vapes.
came
But we got
the huge target
we got
of the federal hoax that was the
yes,
the vape crisis.
right. We got to keep this train rolling. We're gonna
Unmasking of one of the greatest vape trappers of all time.
the grape vape. That's right. But coming up next, it is Mr. Dale Schafer. He's an attorney at law, the founder of Armada Law Practice, and at one point in time did some crime for a cannabis crime. That's right. It is none other than Mr. Dale Schafer.
Good morning. Good morning. It's your favorite Tio Loco. Um, Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. And if you got family, go stuff your face with them and kiss them. And a dangerous world out there. My story this morning um, comes out of Florida. It's in a federal court, but it grows out of what appears to be a work comp claim that went bad. This is Law 360. The headline is hot shop sacked manager after at work injury, the suit says. Okay, and I want to point out that this just got filed. And if you've been following me for a minute, you know that there are things that are said in pleadings that are absolute horseshit, but you get a chance to go refute them. And as I read this complaint, this is about as bare bones as you get in a complaint. There's not much in there to tell you what really happened. But the best I can glean is a guy named Dino Koloa, and I'm probably butchering the name, was the manager of a dispensary, looks like, in Florida. Pure Leaf was the owner, and the claim is that this guy got hurt at work. And I don't know all the particulars, they're very bare on that. Apparently made some kind of a work comp claim, and in the work comp system, if you can't work, you get temporary disability, medical leave, whatever you're going to call it, and they reimburse you for your lost salary. Well, he tried to come back to work and asked for an accommodation, let him come back on limited work basis, and apparently wouldn't talk to him. He hired a lawyer, and the claim is the day the lawyer called Pure Leaf to talk to their attorney, he got canned. Okay. And so, ergo, it's discrimination because he's over 40 and he'd filed a claim. So the work comp claim appears to have gone through and perhaps is still in worked out. But he filed a claim, and my God, he brought out the Americans with Disabilities Act, the Age Discrimination and Employment Act, Florida Workers' Compensation Act, Florida Civil Rights Act, and all of these because, as he claims, he got hurt, and when he asked for an accommodation, he got fired. Therefore, all this is bad. And it may well be that all this is bad because if he was fired because he's old or older, or if he was fired because he got hurt at work and made a claim, that definitely is against the law. But the saying of post hoc ergo propter hoc, after this, because of this, is correlation and not cause. And when I'm reading this, it's like, okay, this guy was over 40. He fired him, hired somebody younger than him that he claims is much less qualified. Now, I've been general counsel for corporations before in the cannabis industry. And if you get more than, in Florida, looks like you got 15, if you've got 15 or more employees, these disability and work discrimination laws apply to you. So when I've represented companies that have that many employees, not only do I demand they have an HR department or they use an outside HR company to keep track of all this shit, but that I kept an employment law firm at close distance. Because I remember having a woman that claimed that she was disabled, and if you don't treat me just right, I'm going to sue you. Okay, well, that's a difficult problem for somebody because if just because someone's over 40 and they're disabled doesn't mean they're a good employee. Maybe they're troubled. Maybe they cause problems in the workplace. Maybe they're dumb as a fucking box of rocks. Maybe they just are personality disordered. I don't know. How do you get rid of a bad employee if they're threatening to bring all these laws into play? So what I would do, and I recommend anybody that employs people in the cannabis industry, is either have your own internal HR or get a third-party HR company to watch this. Because if you've never been in charge of employees before or had a company that employed them, then you don't understand what a pain in the ass certain employees can become. And when you have one of those, you have to be very careful in documenting their files and making sure that when they do something they were told not to do, that they are admonished, it goes in their file, they're given warnings. Because then when you show them the door and you take their pass keys, You know they're going to sue you, but you can defend yourself because we checked off all the boxes to make sure we isolated them as a bad employee. They wouldn't change. We gave them all the warnings we had to, and then we cut them loose. And if there's a takeaway from this, besides that people will say all kinds of scandalous shit in these pleadings, is that if you have a cannabis business and you employ people, please consider having HR people work with you, either outside that do this as a third party vendor or inside. Have your employee handbooks, have people that run the business that know what the hell they're doing when they deal with employees. If your employees are great, thank God. But if you get some cranky son of a bitch that you just cannot deal with, how do you get rid of them without getting sued? So be careful. Take HR seriously, and when in doubt, contact attorneys. You should probably have them on board anyway, but this is a cautionary tale for the industry. HR is going to be a problem. It already is. So there's my story this morning. Back at you. What do you all think?
Man.
I feel you on every level there, Dale. Like my first foray, especially in California, where employees have way more rights than any employer will ever have. My first foray into employing multiple people was a slap in the face and a kick in the nuts. Because all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I'm sexist, I'm chauvinist. I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
When I'm asking you to pick up the phone and dial somebody,
Yeah.
dial some of these numbers, and you refuse to do that, I'm discriminating against you now. Like
People,
it left a bad taste in my mouth, and I unfortunately I don't know if I will ever be a California-based employer ever again, thanks to that. So just watch out, cover y'all bases, and make sure your HR game is tight, because
I feel you.
you'll be left.
I feel you on that.
Shambles.
I feel you on that, Rico. We are in the days of wokeness, and that is basically what happens all the time.
It's not even wokeness.
That is wokeness. That is wokeness. That is wokeness. What Rico's is discussing, that's 100% wokeness. Yeah, it's all wokeness.
I love how conservatives try to rebrand what woke really is.
It is. That's what it is.
It saddens me over the pandemic that we people of color have allowed our melanin deficient friends to hijack what woke really means. But that is not woke.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right there.
I think it's more of a generation.
Have you ever had a snowflake work for you?
Yeah, the snowflakes are the worst. So snowflakes should not even ever get a job.
Shit. Oh my God. I can't even deal with them because I'm going to probably need bail.
Exactly.
Okay?
I'm with you, Dale. Exactly. They're so sensitive. They should not even be in the workforce. Maybe they should just go and sign up for the draft.
Well, someone's convinced them the world gives a shit about their feelings.
Yeah, no one cares about their feelings.
Don't we all sign up?
Overconfident.
Yeah, no one.
Do they still do that?
No one cares about their feelings. No snowflakes. No one cares about their feelings.
Do they still do that? I know when I graduated from high school, we all had to sign that paper saying that we were eligible for the draft. They're still doing that shit?
I don't know. I was number 8 in the last draft. You talk about shitting your pants a little bit. That was during the Vietnam War. It's like, oh, I'm number 8. Holy God, I better do well in college.
Mm-hmm. I do appreciate Steve's comment in the chat. He says, and because he's an employer as well, he says, if you have enough employees, you will get a bad apple, basically meaning a snowflake, and keep your HR on point. And the add in the snowflake was from me, not from his quote.
Yeah, your work is a little community, man, and it just takes one bad apple to infect the whole bunch, and we got to get them out as fast as possible.
100%. 100%.
Carefully, too.
Yeah, I think companies just need to do a better job of the interview process. I think to start ask certain questions to where they would disclose these types of characteristics, these snowflake traits, and I think that's what employers need to look out for more.
You know, it would be a good screen, but here's the thing: they can sue you for discriminating against them. And
I'm not discriminating against them. I'm just choosing not to hire them. That's not discrimination.
It's a good way to sidestep all of that liability. Give it to technology. Let AI.
I've had
no way. You can't do that because AI is woke. AI is going to be a sympathizer with them.
AI ain't so woke, man.
AI is
that's why they
woke.
can't
Woke
use
AF.
why they can't use AI generated facial recognition because AI discriminates.
AI is woke AF, bro.
Well, I'd like
Oh,
to
is it?
see some personality discussions when you interview people,
Mm-hmm.
and the people doing the interviewing have an idea of what personality problems are. Because it's not that difficult to figure out someone's neurotic as hell,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Or that this person's highly disagreeable and they're never going to follow directions. These are the kind of things you need to look for. And I don't have a problem with an employer doing an intake on somebody that might be an employee, and the people asking them questions to try and elicit, what kind of employee would you be? Like, you're fucking crazy as hell and I don't want you in my business, or you're never going to follow directions because you think you're never wrong and you don't agree to anything.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are reasonable things to do. But my experience with the industry is they hire whoever they can get to come in there work in the weed industry. And then you find out that 3/4 of them are crazier than hell, okay? That they won't follow rules at all. And you can't run a business without policies and procedures and people willing to follow rules. So I end up being the asshole that says, you're fired, there's the door, get your ass out. I have a problem doing that. I just don't do well with trying to sit down and mediate disputes with employers and snowflakes because I got to have my comfort dog here because this is just so horrible for me. I don't know. It's like,
Dale,
see, I got to be careful because now I get in trouble because, I have problems with that. I've been an employer before, and Molly, my ex-wife, used to hire she was a shit magnet. She would hire broken cookies. And then it's like, how did we get you working for us? Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
You got to fire him now, Dale.
Yep.
Well, why didn't you fire him in the first place? God damn.
Exactly. Yep. Dale, you should have pulled her.
Dale,
You pulled her
I
from
think it's
hiring.
like you said in the first story. It's a very delicate balance that you have to have there between the employee and employer relationship. And it's just tough. It's tough in today's environment more than any other. Lawsuits are running rampant.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Got to protect yourself. Make sure you have insurance, and make sure you have
Employee
somebody on staff.
contracts,
Yeah,
handbooks.
employee contract.
This is what you can't do here, or we're going to fire your ass on the spot. I mean, I
make sure all
recommend
that
that you
clear
go over that
on
and
day.
you sign it. If you do these things, you will be escorted to the door. You don't
Mhm.
pass go. We'll give you your final check and get the fuck out of here. And that's the kind of stuff you have to really have the come to Jesus talk with employees about. Because if you don't have that in talk ahead of time, it's not in the records, then it's a slippery slope to get rid of some of these folks.
Yep, this
really
is business. It's not personal. We can be friends outside of this shit, but right here, you fucking with my money.
Right.
Yeah, we got a job to do.
Mhm.
Everybody else's money here too. And if this ship goes down, everybody's going down with it.
Facts, and more facts. And yeah, stop hiring snowflakes. They don't want to work anyway. But nonetheless, we got to go to a commercial and we'll be right back. The Control Tower from Highly Educated has perfected the dab. Utilizing the concept of thin film evaporation, you can waste none of it and taste all of it. The micro texture of the SE pillar increases nucleation at elevated temperatures. And with the tower propelling at 2,600 RPMs, it's certainly the most efficient dab experience to date. The Control Tower from Highly Educated. Oh yeah, stop whatever you're doing. Make sure you hit that like button. I know we'll appreciate it. YouTubers appreciate it, and you will appreciate it yourself. Also, too, all of the articles that we cover on today's show you can find on our website at www.highat9news.com, and also make sure that you are subscribed to the channel as well. And coming up next year, in the start of the year, we are going to be moving the live show to our new YouTube channel, High at 9 News, N-I-N-E News, all spelled out. So make sure that you go and subscribe and follow us there, and there'll be tons of other content that will be coming out on this channel as well. But nonetheless, we want to start to build that up, and that's where you will find the live show daily starting in the next year. I'm Jason Beck, and this is Smoky Vanilla. And if you want to feel as good as I look, then you need to get yourself a Stretch and Smoke with Smoky Vanilla.
That's right, baby. I'm Smoky Vanilla with my background in kinesiology. I'm a sports massage therapist and stretch coach. I focus mostly on athletes who have chronic pain or injury due to their sport, or the legends of the chronic in the game, baby.
Oh, yeah, you know what it is. We just stretched, and now we're gonna smoke, because you know what it is.
That's right. I love intuitively creating a session based on the individual I'm working with. We'll go through a few assessments, look at the past health history, injury, or anything that's still affecting you today, and create a customized session just for you. Let's go.
Man, I tell you what, Jason, that beat got me wanting to spit a hot 16.
Oh man,
on the
that's
track right now.
Yeah, shout out to Rob Lowe. It's my guy from P World. Yeah, we went to school together. He provided us with these musical beats.
Not the actor Rob Lowe.
Nope, not the actor Rob Lowe. Nope, he's a different. Got a little more melanin than that guy.
Okay, all right, I can dig it. I can dig it. In the wake of that, we have another melanin deficient individual coming to the stage. He's a good one, though. He's a good one. He's one of the good ones.
He's one of the good ones.
Thank you, Rico.
When the great purple state of Texas decided Delta 8 dab sessions were the future, this Austin-based dope dad figured he'd be better in the high road. Up next is the host of the show with the same damn name. Y'all know who it is. Coming out of Texas, Stone Slade.
Oh yeah, thank you, Rico. I always appreciate your intros because Texas is always purple when you're giving it over to me here, buddy.
It's
Folks,
only
we've talked
Austin.
about what
It's only Austin that's purple.
Stop it. So all the big cities, buddy. All the big cities. Anyway, we've talked about how the pilgrims were turds and snowflakes at work, and let's talk about some important shit. Let's get into Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. As we prepare for a day of feasting and family, let's talk about the unique ingredient that might just make this holiday even more memorable. Of course, you know what I'm talking about. Talking about cannabis. And hey, don't we all have that cool uncle or cousin, or maybe you are that cool uncle or cousin that always shows up without fail with beautiful Mary Jane at his or her side. My friends, they are the unsung heroes of this holiday. Let's talk about 5 benefits of cannabis on Thanksgiving. Benefit number 1, appetite stimulation, the most obvious one. Let's talk about the munchies. It's scientifically proven that cannabis stimulates your appetite. Researchers from the University of Liverpool discovered that cannabis intensifies the sensory and hedonic properties of food. So if you're struggling to get excited about the 5th plate of turkey and stuffing, light up a little cannabis and get back to it. Benefit number 2, it's a digestive aid. Next, cannabis does aid digestion. A study from the University of Michigan found that cannabis protects the stomach lining and helps with gastrointestinal disorders. After indulging in Aunt Linda's infamous green bean casserole, small dose of cannabis will definitely be your best friend. Benefit number 3, anxiety reduction. Feeling stressed about the family debates over the dinner table? Cannabis can help. Northwestern University researchers say that cannabis activates the same brain receptors as your body's natural stress relievers. So a little bit of weed might be the peacekeeper that we all need this Thanksgiving. Benefit number 4, social bonding. And here, this is a fun one. Cannabis might enhance your love for family. Some of us don't like it. Smoke a little joint. Everybody's a little more tolerable. The University of California, Irvine found that cannabis stimulates the production of oxytocin, known as the love hormone. This will either make tolerating Uncle Bob's long stories that you've heard a million times easier, or get you and your Mr. and Mrs. out the door faster for some intimate loving. Benefit number 5, safe driving. That's right, safe driving. We never recommend driving, although allegedly we all have, under the influence of cannabis. Studies, including one from the U.S. Department of Transportation, suggest that cannabis users are generally as safe as sober drivers. Just remember moderation and safety first, of course. More than 55 million Americans will be on the roads this holiday weekend, which AAA says is expected to be the busiest travel period in years. There you have it, folks. This is Thanksgiving. A little toke might not just be about unwinding, but it could actually bring in some surprising benefits for your holiday experience, from stimulating your appetite to making your family time more bearable. Cannabis could be your secret ingredient. But remember, always consume responsibly and know your limits. Happy Thanksgiving. May your holiday be filled with joy and peace, and of course, great people, great food, and great smoke. I'm Stone Slade reporting for the High at 9 News.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Stone.
Thanksgiving.
Some great
Yes.
uplifting Thanksgiving tidbits
Yes.
there, if you will. Giblets.
Right?
Giblets.
Giblets. Oh boy.
I like that.
Oh,
I think we
boy.
need to have cannabis-infused Pepto-Bismol.
Interesting.
You know what? I found out the hard way that Pepto-Bismol actually triggers my gout. So I had the worst stomach ache last year.
Oh.
There's an active
No.
ingredient in Pepto-Bismol and Imodium AD and all that shit that give you a fucking gout attack. So if you got gout, be careful with that shit. Because I was chugging it, and all of a sudden I couldn't walk the next day. It was the worst holiday trip that I've ever been through.
You know what? This is
Oh,
gonna be
man.
this is gonna be my first Thanksgiving in 10 years about that I have eaten meat. So
I was
this-
about to say,
Really?
I was gonna ask
Yeah.
if you were having a tofurkey or what you
No,
were having today.
I have a new doctor, and they have switched my diet up 100%, total 180, and so I have to eat meat
Alright.
now. They say
So what do you? Is it red meat, white meat? What are you chewing on?
I don't know, whatever people are cooking. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm domestically challenged, so I stay away from the kitchen until they serve it on the plates.
How about this? How about this? How about we do a quick survey of the greatest
A quick-
Thanksgiving dishes? Let's
But
see.
but what are we gonna put? What are we gonna do this like as multiple choice?
Nah, we can do a multiple choice.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like because if you're gonna do a survey of what are the best dishes.
Yeah, four
Right.
choices. Each of us puts one up for the audience and see what the best is.
Well, don't I
I
mean,
get
well, two of them you have to have like a turkey and like a tofurkey to see to gauge the audience, right? Because you have to have a meatless option, right?
Yeah, I'm with you,
guess.
Stone.
I don't know about that.
Your eye goes, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and apply a hot take to that. Like most people who do not eat meat, chances are they don't celebrate Thanksgiving.
I don't know about that. Thanksgiving, I think, is the most celebrated holiday.
Like I
of-
said, it's a hot
like-
take. It's not.
I mean,
truth
You
I
can
mean-
make
or
some
reason.
fire vegetable dishes, and I can see people getting by, but man, I couldn't. That's not me. I had one of our good friends is a vegetarian, and she ate my turkey last Thanksgiving for the first time in I think 20 years or something like that. So she's coming again this year. I might have converted her.
I mean, even Jehovah Witnesses celebrate Thanksgiving, Rico.
Do they really?
Yeah, they do. It's the one holiday they celebrate.
So okay, if you say so. If you say,
And
I'm
there
not- I'm
ain't
not
nothing
vegetarian.
like killing that turkey, plucking it, and throw it in the oven the same day. Done that many a times. I am not a vegan.
Oh,
Raised beef,
I love-
pork,
all right. So
chicken,
what?
turkeys.
So what four
I
meals
love
are we
me-
gonna
I love
put on
me
this
some
poll?
deep-fried turkey.
What four?
Yeah.
What
I say the mac and cheese, because if I say mac and cheese, and when you walk into somebody's Thanksgiving dinner, whether it's Friendsgiving, whether it's somebody else's family, whatever, you can judge how the rest of the meal is going to be
based
just
off
by
their
the
mac and cheese?
If that mac and cheese ain't right, head for the door.
I
man.
do judge people based off their mac and cheese. I think that's fair. Like if you put breadcrumbs on your mac and cheese, I think you got problems.
If you got raisins in anything, come on, bro.
What about the brand? What about the brand, Rico? What about the brand? All right. So we're gonna put this poll
I say
together.
mac and cheese.
So we're putting mac and
Yeah, let's put it-
cheese
let's put a poll.
up there. Stone, what are you saying?
It's at every dinner and every Thanksgiving dinner, and I'm personally not a fan, but throw that green bean casserole out there. 'Cause
Green
you
bean.
always see it. I always see it over there. It doesn't see me. I stay away from it, but I'd like to see. Is that something people really?
Yep.
I know people like it. It's gone, but why? Why
Matt?
do you eat green beans
looks
and cream
terrible.
of mushroom soup?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks terrible, but I have to admit, I am a fan of green beans. green
Yes.
beans.
I can't do onions anymore, and I feel like the only reason I would eat that before growing up is because of the crispy onions on top.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can't do that anymore, so it's like the thrill is gone. I stay away.
Damn.
Thrill is gone.
All right. So you got the green bean casserole, Stone Slade. Dale, what are you going to throw out there?
Well, are we prevented from meat dishes here?
Nope. You can put out whatever you want.
I like honey ham.
Honey ham.
Yeah,
man.
with the pineapples on it and cloves.
Oh man, cloves. Oh yeah.
Does it have to be a honey baked ham?
Well, no.
Okay.
I like
all right.
puerco myself, smoked
Puerco.
cured ham.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I feel like I'm just going to throw this out there because I feel like you can't have a Thanksgiving dinner without this. I'm just going to throw out the stuffing. So we have our choices
Yeah.
of mac and
Stuffing in a
cheese,
ham, though.
mac and cheese, green bean casserole, right? A ham
Mhm.
or stuffing. Which one of those is your favorite? We're gonna put it up in the chat right now. The poll is coming your way. Let's see what is your favorite part of your holiday dish this Thanksgiving, everybody. There we go.
Yes.
It's up. It is up there.
And while we have people respond to that, you want to hit us with the last story of the day, Jason?
Yeah, yes. Just so you know, we have two stories today, so I'm going to let you guys choose which one you guys want to hear. Because more Republicans support the need to pass marijuana banking, Schumer says. Or,
Surprise.
yes, or would you like to hear how Hawaii's law enforcement community opposes Attorney General's plan to legalize the use of marijuana?
I say let's go with Hawaii because that safe banking thing's been, dude, it's been 7 years, 8 years, 9 years.
All right. Well, if you want to hear about safe banking, then make sure you head over to our website at www.highat9news.com and you can read that story all about it. But
safe banking.
yes, Hawaii's law enforcement community opposes the Attorney General's plan to legalize the use of marijuana. That's right. Hawaii's law enforcement community, led by Honolulu prosecutor Steve Alm, is lining up against the Attorney General's plan to legalize adult-use marijuana, although leading lawmakers gave the proposal a warm welcome. Alm says opponents now have ammunition from the experience of other states. Also said the law enforcement community was shocked when Attorney General Annie Lopez, the state's chief law enforcement officer, dropped opposition to legalization. And in quotes, "And when we met with them, I told Annie, you know that she said, that train has left the station. We don't think the train has left the station," Alm said during her confirmation hearing. Attorney General Lopez promised a marijuana legalization plan with a law enforcement perspective. Lopez's special assistant on the issue, Dave Day, said that was part of the process. And in a quote, "The Department of Law Enforcement, which is the state's leading law enforcement agency, worked collaboratively with the Department of the Attorney General on this bill," Day said. Despite that, along with the police and prosecutors, Alm predicts opposition from health experts, educators, and even the visitor industry because it's not broken. Alm said, "Now to tell me there is no impetus to changing the system." Alm said medical marijuana laws and decriminalization have already made marijuana available to almost everyone, and that research in other states is showing that super potent cannabis is causing everything from traffic deaths to mental illness. In a quote, "Teenagers go to the emergency room thinking they are going crazy," Alm said, "because it's such a strong drug. It's a different drug entirely." Day said the Attorney General is aware of the risk, and in a quote, "What we've tried to do is present a bill that tries to mitigate as many of those risks as possible," Day said. In an interview with Hawaii News Now last week, Lopez said the bill provides health oversight, education, and requirements for testing and labeling about potency, so we can assure that the right people are able to purchase it and not children and not teenagers, Lopez said. The bill also offers grants and assistance to illegal growers to entice them out of the black market, and Alm said that hasn't worked in other states, and neither will the Attorney General's promise to beef up enforcement against illegal growers. In a quote, "It's total BS," Alm said. "They're talking about what a dedicated team from law enforcement. Right now, they have HPD that has almost 2,000 members. And although many hoped this would be the year that marijuana would be legalized, the opposition of law enforcement combined with the overwhelming needs of the Maui County could put this issue off for another year. What do you guys think about this? Hawaii, I think they need to regenerate a lot of their land that got burnt down with some of this hemp crops and really try to regenerate their land for other crops.
Their cut.
Cops want their cut.
Where's he getting all this craziness that's happening? All this fucking scare tactics that he's throwing out there.
I would guess Project Sam. I would guess Project Sam.
Dano is upset that nobody's going to tell him to book him, Dano, if they take that off if they legalize cannabis, because the only gateway cannabis is the gateway for those assholes that mess with you and get you for something and put you in jail. There's absolutely no reason for this jerk off to be taking the stance that he is.
Mm-hmm.
And I thank you for bringing the story. I'm headed there next week, and I will say I do like their medical program. It was very easy for me to transfer my current medical card over there so that I will be able to get cannabis. But come on, man, Hawaii's meant to happen. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Which island are you going to?
I'm going to Oahu, the North Shore.
Okay.
Big waves right now.
I was over on the Big Island. I was very pleasantly surprised to see how easy it was to procure.
Come on, bro. It's Pakalolo, bro. It's Pakalolo, man. It grows wild out there.
Yeah, I was able to get some top-notch shit over there. You know,
it's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem the cops don't even want to pay attention to. They got their blinders on. Oh, the children. Oh, there's all these problems on the road. You can walk around the corner and buy weed everywhere in Hawaii. All right. There aren't enough cops to police the marijuana laws. And then all the bad guys get away. And that's the disconnect they have. It's like we want law enforcement to go look for violent people that'll lie, cheat, steal your shit. And someone that wants to smoke some weed, why are you out there getting up their ass about anything?
Mm-hmm.
It's just ridiculous. But that's the mantra. You keep hearing it. Oh, you know, people have been driving, smoking weed. I've been smoking weed for over 50 years. And all my friends did. We all drove. Nobody got into accidents. But a whole bunch of my friends got DUIs because he's drinking. You're stupid.
Yep.
This is not a new phenomenon.
Yeah.
And it's not backed up by science. It's based upon fear that lacks facts. But cops are junkyard dogs, man. They want to show up and tear everything up, but they also want a seat at the table and making policy decisions. And I'm sorry, we want their input. But if you leave cops to run this, everything will be made illegal.
Exactly.
Yep. You
Exactly.
can't have it both ways. How bizarre would it be if the cops were the ones selling weed?
I mean, in some cases they are. In some cases they are.
Yeah, no, I'm saying they were the ones running the dispensaries. How about you repurpose their jobs because they ain't got shit else to do? You have to justify their paycheck. Now the cops are the ones running the dispensaries.
Would they
And
call
I
it?
know some cops that did that. They pulled their retirement money out and bought a dispensary. Retired cops.
Would they call it?
And the whole family is like, you assholes. You locked people up, and some of the people in the family that got locked up for weed got in trouble. And they're like, you guys locked people up for weed, and now you're taking advantage of it. You're fucking hypocrites. I've been trying to separate it from fighting and shit like that.
Rico, were they going to call that law enforcement equity?
Even the American way, like all these robber barons and shit, all these big corporations, they spend their entire tenure just trashing the earth, just trashing people, killing people. Then all of a sudden, they're the biggest charity. They're helping out.
Rico,
they're helping out all the people they done killed and their families too.
Rico, they're going to call that law enforcement equity when they do that.
Ooh, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
I'm going to bring a dormant commerce clause suit in if they get it.
If they
shove those laws up their ass too.
Right? Exactly.
I like that.
Exactly.
Call it LEE.
Mm-hmm.
Law Enforcement Equity. LEE.
Yep.
They're
Exactly.
gonna start their own program. They get 10% of the licenses go to cops.
Shout out to Lee.
They have to be drug. Shout out to Lee. Golly.
Well, maybe they'll get a quick law enforcement response if someone tries to hold up their dispensary, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Hey, you never know.
You see a shootout.
Oh, they got the inside. Yeah, they got the inside number to call.
Yeah, it's who you know, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Not what you know.
It is. It is.
Yeah, what happens when the cop gangs go against each other?
Mm-hmm.
They just take each other out.
Stand back and wait till the bullets stop flying. My advice.
I'll treat it like we do most of the problems that we're seeing today. It ain't my issue.
So
I see these Republicans fighting each other.
That's-
It ain't my issue.
Oh boy.
I see that insurrection, all these white folks storming the Capitol. It ain't my issue.
So we got some results from the poll, you guys. Are you guys ready for this?
How'd that poll turn out?
All right. Well, Stone Slade, green bean casserole came in at a 7%. Just 7. Just 7.
Nice.
Just 7%.
Those are my people.
Those are your people. That's right.
I mean, the other 93%, not the 7.
And this I'm surprised about. The mac and cheese came in at 21%. All right. The honey ham is coming in at 29%. That's the shocker to me right there. The honey ham at 29%. And oh yeah, you guys tried to shun me in the beginning when I said it, but guess what? The stuffing came in first at 43%, you guys. Ha ha ha.
I've never been a fan. Maybe that's why I'm such a contrarian and everything else. Like the stuffing is like, I don't know, man.
That great.
They should call it filling, because it's just like it's filling from keeping you off the important shit that's on the table. A good stuffing though, a good stuffing is pretty damn good.
Yeah, bro. You get the right spices in there. You get those celery chunks, bro. I'm telling you, it's just on fire.
It's just trash, dude.
It's bread right from the turkey's ass. There you go.
It is.
Yep.
I mean,
your little gizzards. So, anyways, as we come to a close today, I just want to, before we start, I want to say thank you for all of our fans. Thank you to all of my colleagues here at High at 9 News. Give thanks for all of you guys, and I hope you guys have an incredible time with your families. From our family here at High at 9 News to yours, just remember, people died for us to get here.
Facts.
Just take that to heart.
Facts.
Much love. So, big shout out, to our super fans. You can always catch us on at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon on the East Coast. Big shout out to our super fans showing love, giving their comments posted live on the big screen. To our vetted correspondent team tuning in from all over, giving us a variety of perspective and your respected opinions as well. To our production team, Cloud Media Partners.
Just say Adam. Just say Adam. It's Thanksgiving. You can say thank you, Adam. It's okay.
Thank you,
Adam. Yes. Thank you, Adam.
There we go.
And just so you guys know, Adam is a beast.
Yes, that he is.
Doing a damn thing back there. It is Thursday, November 23rd, Thanksgiving 2023. You've all been blessed with today's top industry headlines. Hope it was enough for you to put in your pipe and smoke at least until it's time to take that walk with your cousins. Stone Slade, you're taking us out today. What you got, my brother?
Thank you, Rico. Thank you. May this day be a reminder to savor the simple pleasures and enjoy all of our time together. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy this day. I got giblets, or whatever on the stovetop and got to get out of here. Love you guys.
Red meat, huh, Stone? Red meat.
I got red meat too.
Yeah.
2 tri-tips and a turkey today, baby.
Yeah, you don't eat purple meat, do you?
Partridge in a pear tree.
I see.